Hi dudes, Climax 4 explain here. Before we launch, subscribe now because spoilers ahead. Today I will demonstrate to you a 2019 South Korean romance movie called Autumn Fairy Tale. The movie starts with a boy named Junkie, who is very interested about the birth of his younger sister. Can't wait to see his sister, Junkie, then crawl into the nursery. Nonetheless, one of the hospital nurses caught his actions and then ordered the boy to get out of there immediately. Junkie, who was surprised and also panicked, then accidentally lowered the nameplate hanging on his sister's bed and also the baby girl who was next to her. The nurse then put the nameplate back on the bed of the two baby girls, where it turned out that the nameplate was accidentally mixed up. This is where the fate of two people from various backgrounds begins, who will oversee mixed lives. As eternity goes by, Junkie is now a youngster, as is his younger sister, and Junkie had the excellent family. His parents are very caring and love their children, and come from a rich and respectable family. And his favorite sister, also grew into a beautiful girl, gentle and kind. One day, and she is celebrating her birthday with her brother and parents. They look very balanced and happy. On Enchi's birthday, Junkie introduced his sister with 4 mugs with miniatures of her family, which then made Enchi frown because she thought that her miniature face did not correspond the miniature faces of her parents. Enchi then fascinated her family by playing the piano, which she was very good at, as was her brother. Meanwhile elsewhere, a woman who appears to be busy chopping vegetables and her daughter, Shinai, is washing the dirty dishes. Shinai's mother then scolded her daughter because she was considered incompetent to do the job and did not enable her run her simple diner business. Shinai's mother often scolded her daughter, even forgetting that her birthday fell on that day. Shinai has an older brother named Yuchao, who is often rude to her. Shinai was educated at the exact school as Enchi. Junkie always defends and conserves his sister from delinquent students at school. In contrast to Yuchao, who often asks for money and is rude to Shinai. One day, Enchi caught Yuchao asking his sister for money while threatening to beat her if she didn't comply. The kind-hearted Enchi then rushed to help Shinai by giving her pocket money to Yuchao and saying him to leave and not bother Shinai anymore. Nonetheless, rather of thanking Enchi for helping her, Shinai got embarrassed with her, though she was being nice, and then walked away. When he was about to go home by bicycle, Junkie exhibited Enchi a limited edition music album, which turned out to be the album of his favorite musician. The delighted Enchi then chased her brother riding her bicycle at high velocity. Unable to control her bicycle due to touring at high speed, she had an accident while crossing at a crossroads. Enchi was instantly rushed to the hospital. When she was in the operating room, her parents only found out that Enchi's blood type differed from theirs and Junkie's. After that, her parents then retraced Enchi's birth documents at the hospital and found out that she was not their biological daughter. In the evening, they again discussed about it in Enchi's treatment room when she was already asleep. But the following morning, Enchi told her brother that she dreamed of listening their parents say that she was not their biological daughter last night. Not wanting his sister to feel anxious, Junkie then gave her a current he had readied if she recovered, which is a CD player. But it turned out that the CD player had not been installed with batteries, so Junkie went out to buy batteries. Junkie saw his parents in the hospital hallway who appeared to be having a serious conversation with a middle-aged woman. He then listens their conversation and discovers that his younger sister had been swapped when they were babies, which indicates that Enchi is not his real sister. Nonetheless, because they already love Enchi, Junkie's parents plan not to reveal the truth to the girl. Nonetheless, they also feel sorry for Shinai, their biological daughter, who has been living apart from them. Meanwhile, Shinai mom could only see Enchi, her biological daughter, from a distance without meeting her daughter in person and hugging her. Not lengthy after, Enchi had regained and returned home. Enchi has lived a perfect life with her loving family again, until one day, Shinai unexpectedly came to their house while showing her birth document which disclosed that she was Junkie's parents' biological daughter. Shinai feels that she is being mistreated because her biological parents prefer Enchi to her who is their biological daughter. Shinai said that she had lived in misery all this moment, where her mother and older brother constantly scolded her and were rude to her. Shinai felt that all the luck and happiness that Enchi had had over the past dozen years was hers. Hearing Shinai words, Junkie scolded the girl and then hit her out. but it was Enshi who left them rather. Junshi then chased her until they came to a hill, where Enshi sobbed and told Junshi that she wanted to become a tree that didn't have to move and be segregated from her family. Junshi, who was very sad to hear Enshi's words, then carved their names on the trunk of a nearby tree while convincing Enshi to go home because it was late at night. Enshi eventually agreed to return home with Junshi in his arms. The following day, Enshi decided to leave Junshi and her parents, meet her biological mother, and live with the woman. Suffering very sad when she announced goodbye in person, Enshi got up early so Junshi and his parents wouldn't notice her departure. Nonetheless, when she got there, her real mother kicked Enshi out and notified her that she would live a miserable life if she lived with her. Not long after, Junshi's mother, knowing Enshi's departure, rushed to chase her and attempted to convince Enshi to return home. Junshi's mother then told Enshi's mother that she planned to move to the United States with Enshi and Shinai and decided to take care of the two girls jointly. Nonetheless, Enshi refused and then hugged her real mother and said she wanted to stay with her. Eventually, Junshi's family moved to the United States without Enshi. Several years later, Junshi, who had grown up, decided to return to China to find his beloved sister. Junshi visited the residential area where Enshi's mother lived, but it turned out that the woman had moved various years ago. On the other hand, Enshi has now grown into a beautiful woman and works as a nurse in a hospital. In addition, she has a side job as an estate salesperson. When Enshi was on a tour with her coworker to meet their client, she met a man named Han who forgot to bring his electronic money card and had difficulty paying, so Enshi took the initiative to support the man. Enshi ultimately managed to sell one of the properties with her speaking skills, although she had to contain her anger because the client kept wooing her because he was fascinated by Enshi's beauty. Reaching home, Enshi found her mother crying because Yu Chao asked her mother for money for gambling. Yu Chao even endangered his mother to eradicate her place if she did not approve with his request. Seeing this, Enshi then gave money to Yu Chao to leave there instantly. Enshi's mother realizes very guilty because her daughter is now living a miserable life. After determining to live with her, Enshi did not regret her decision at all and pledged her mother that she would earn a lot of money to make her mother happy. The scene then shifts and shows the atmosphere of a meeting in the meeting room of an estate company, where Han is seen there. Han is the son of the owner of the company. Han is even engrossed in playing mobile games on his cell phone when in a meeting. In addition, he is still interested about the kind woman who paid the parking fee and plans to find her whereabouts. Suddenly, Han turned out to be friends with Junshi while in the United States, so he was very happy when he found out that Junshi had returned to China. On the other hand, Han seemingly managed to find the whereabouts of Enshi and attempted to make friends with her. One night, Han takes Junshi to a nightclub, where he also invites Enshi and her friends. Han was impressed by Enshi's kindness when she supported a maidservant pour a drink. As the night wore on, Han then played a song on the piano, which Junshi and Enshi often played when they were teenagers. Getting carried away, Enshi moved toward Han and he then invited Enshi and asked her out on a date. But Enshi then left Han. Enshi then came to the hill where she and Junshi had engraved their names on a tree. She also still kept the CD player Junshi had given her. Enshi seemingly still remembers Junshi and his family and misses them very much. Enshi remembered about her good old days with Junshi and her family, but she understood that now she was nothing to them. One day, Enshi, who works as a waitress, gets into an incident with one of Han's friends who belittles her just because she's a waitress. Han then acknowledged that Enshi was indeed a good woman. The man then confessed to Enshi for his attitude a while ago, but Enshi ignored him. Enshi then went to a service shop by the roadside, where she intended to repair her broken CD player. Not long after, Junshi also visited the service shop to repair a CD player similar to Enshi's. Junshi instantly acknowledged that the CD player related to Enshi and rushed to find her whereabouts, who might not have gone too far from the shop. Sure enough, Junshi ultimately met Enshi again after being apart for so long. They then stopped by a coffee shop to chat, but Enshi seemed cold to Junshi. That night, Enshi, who appeared demoralized, went out to drink alone. And Junshi just watched the woman from a distance. Enshi then poured out all her anger and sadness on Junshi in a drunken state and collapsed unconscious afterward. Junshi then brought Enshi back to their old house. Junshi took Enshi to a cabin off the coast the next day. The cabin turned out to contain all of their memories from when they lived jointly, as well as a birthday present that Junshi had readied for Enshi every year. Enshi looked so delighted because Junshi had never forgotten her all this time. In the days that followed, Junshi and Enshi also spent more and more time jointly by doing various fun things, so that deliberately the seeds of love began to grow between them. Meanwhile, Junshi already has a fiancé called Yumi while in the United States. One day, Yumi determines to come to China to catch up with Junshi. Wanting to shock him, Yumi asked Han to pick her up at the airport. Han then invites Yumi to meet Junshi and also Enshi. Knowing that Yumi is Junshi's fiancé, Enshi comes to be jealous. Shinai, who had just returned from the United States, also came to the meeting and appeared to dislike Enshi's presence in their midst. Shinai then frankly says to Enshi that she doesn't want Enshi to reappear in her family's life because she doesn't want her family's attention and affection to return to Enshi. Shinai's appearance to China informed Junshi that their mother had regained from her illness and that her health condition was enhancing. While they were in the United States, their mother fell ill because they missed Enshi so much. Shinai turns out to be Han's ex-girlfriend and attempts to get him back, but the man always ignores Shinai and pays more attention to Enshi after falling in love with her. Han also often visited Enshi at work and brought her food. He felt sorry for Enshi, who constantly worked hard to support her family's needs. Han then took Enshi shopping and went to a nursing home, where he seemingly often visited there to make donations and also entertain the elderly who were there. Han warns Enshi that he comes from a broken home. Even though he is full of wealth, he lacks his parents' love. Han, who aims at to make Enshi his wife, then asks Junshi's blessing because he knows their past. But Junshi didn't look like happy about it. Even so, Han never gave up and did everything he could to win Enshi's love. The closeness of Han and Enshi was seemingly known by Shinai, who then felt very jealous and came to Enshi at her residence. Nonetheless, Shinai was reunited with Enshi's mother, had raised her since she was a baby and was instantly moved to see her again. Not only Shinai, but Enshi's mother was also very happy when she met her again. Even though Shinai was not her natural daughter and often scolded her, but she loved her very much. And she selected to leave the house and let Shinai go of her mother's longing. On the way, she met Junshi's parents had come to China to find her. The meeting of children and parents who have been detached for several years seems so touching. After that, Enshi, who felt unworthy of being loved by Junshi's family, then bought all the gifts she obtained from Junshi and went to a nightclub, then behaved as if she was not a good woman. Enshi did all that on goal so that Junshi and his family and Han would hate her. After the commotion in the nightclub, Enshi unexpectedly fell unconscious. It turns out that she has been undergoing from leukemia and has chosen to hide her health condition from her family. The only way for Enshi to survive her illness is to discover a bone marrow donor. Her mother looked so sad and very guilty because she had let Enshi work hard without ever understanding her daughter's illness. Enshi initially didn't want to undergo treatment because she felt she didn't deserve to live any longer, and her health worsened. At a critical eternity, Enshi subconsciously remembered Junshi's name. Knowing that the woman he loves turns out to be in love with another man, Han ultimately willingly gives up Enshi for Junshi, as nicely as Yumi, who gives up her beloved fiancé for Enshi. After Enshi passed her critical period, her entire family met her, comprising Han and Yumi. Shinai then apologized to Enshi for always being rude to her, and Enshi forgave her and dealt with her as her sister. Enshi is even extra excited to recover when she discovers that everyone truly loves her and wants her to always feel happy. In the last moment of movie, we see Enshi married to Junshi in the presence of his whole family and Han. And that's it. Like and subscribe may easy for you, but for us, it's extremely valuable, so thank you so much for your support.